All right, it started. So, Melissa, share a little bit of your background in just being in the huddle.
So I have been a part of an amazing huddle for the last at least 3, almost 4 years. It's a huddle that is some neighborhood women, just that we spend a lot of life together and time together, even outside of our huddle group. Um, they're amazing, godly women. They're women who I think have definitely developed and brought me along on this amazing journey of discovering who God is and how much He loves me and cares about me. So it's been a fantastic ride, a lot of learning and just growing in the group.
Share why you felt God leading you to kind of take a step of faith outside your own huddle.
So I think the answer is a little bit different for everyone. So God can speak to us in different ways indefinitely. But I think the one thing that was clear for me was a feeling in my current huddle of kind of comfort. So I was comfortable with the women. They knew a lot about me. They knew my struggles. They knew my strengths. So it was it's a good feeling, right? It's a good feeling to feel comfortable. But I think God was pressing into me and saying, are you becoming too comfortable? Does that comfort feel good, or is it becoming lazy? So for me, I think the comfort was at a level where I knew just how much work I had to put in to kind of meet expectations of each week or each time that we met. And so I, again, put just enough effort in to, make it I don't want to say make it look like. I was still doing the work, but to still kind of meet the demands of my family and busy life. But then also, just kind of go deep enough to get through conversation. And so I think there's definitely a point where I think I stopped not growing. There were still things, that were coming and going, and God was telling me, but overall at a high level growing. So I definitely think He was challenging me and forcing me to take a hard look at the group that I was in and whether or not it was where He wanted me to be, or if He had more for me.
How would you encourage others in regards to responding to, God using them to live on mission for Him and point other people to Jesus?
Again, I think God will speak to you in a way that's familiar to you, in a way that breaks through to you specifically. But I think making space to listen is huge. I know Troy talked about in a message that's currently going on in terms of mission. Are you available? And so that was definitely something that God was putting hugely on my heart. I was available to my huddle, and we were very close and tight knit. But when I was spending time with my huddle in the weekdays or the weeknights that I was, meeting with them, and the prayer times that we had, those were all fantastic things and glorifying to God. But He kept putting on my heart and asking me, if you are with these people who you know well and who you know follow me and are great disciples of me, who are you not with? Who are you not spending time with that might need me, that might need my guidance and my love, and you can show that to them. So I think to encourage others, I would say you have to first listen. You have to make space to listen and hear what God is telling you or wants to say to you. So listening, I think, is first. And then really be honest with yourself and evaluate. Do you feel comfortable in the situation you're in? Is that comfort a warm feeling where you feel accepted and loved, and it's a good place where you're growing fruitfully? Or is it a place that's become like, I go, and it's great. I spend time with people that I love, but I'm not really taking steps forward. Maybe I'm just standing still. And again, just being honest with yourself, taking a good reflection and deciding, where am I really? It's hard because it can be hurtful. It's hard because sometimes, you love those relationships so deeply that you don't want them to change, or maybe you're afraid of change. But I think that God will give you exactly what you need. And when I broke the news to my huddle that I was thinking, I think I didn't actually tell him beforehand. I actually kind of reached out first. I listened to God first, and then I knew that he would, or I trusted that he would take care of the ladies in my huddle and take care of, any of like the hurts or their hearts. But luckily he was faithful, and all of the women who were in my original huddle were just overjoyed. They were thankful that God was working in these ways in my life and in my heart, and they were excited that the kingdom was expanding. So I think there's always going to be sadness with replication and duplication, because you're losing, to an extent, some relationships that you've really grown close with. But the amazing news is that God's kingdom is expanding in a way that we maybe didn't see, previous to that, that he could work.
That's awesome. Everything you said, I was just like, man, this is like Ryan and Carrie Hughes all over again. This was great.
Theirs was so good.
Could you just share real quickly what God led you to do?
Sure. Like logistically?
Yeah. So what did you shared a little bit about multiplying out?
Sure.
But you didn't necessarily share what that looked like.
Okay.
You don't have to go in great detail, but
sure.
Just something to the effect of God led me to multiply out of my huddle.
Okay.
And invite some friends, or you know what I mean?
Sure.
Something like that.
Sure. Okay. Yep. So God was leading me to multiplication. He was putting on my heart that there were other people who were very close, even closer than women who lived down the street to me. He actually was saying, there's women who are literally living next door, who are my neighbors. So literally all of them are outside my front door. And so he was leading me to just get into better relationship with them. He said, you know the people in your huddle very well, and you know them deeply, and you know their hearts and their motives, and you know that those are for me and my glory, but there's other people that maybe need you. So he kind of just led me to branch out and to reach out to those people and see if they were, willing to gather together and in relationship and even in fellowship.
Perfect.